The Ferrari's Purosangue crossover is a new tester for Ferrari. It is Ferrari's new sports car-like SUV, and it has made raves on the internet after its pictures resurfaced again, but this time on a complete production body shell. Previously, it surfaced as a slammed version of a Maserati Levante, but this time, it came adorned with a lot of production-bound elements. But SUVs are not easily associated with Ferrari, because, according to the automaker, SUVs do not represent Ferrari's brand value. Before we go into that, can you spare a few seconds to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and bell icon? This will help you get informed of our new and upcoming videos that promise to be educational and informative. Let's quickly look at what we know so far about the upcoming 2023 Ferrari Purosangue. When SUVs hit the auto industry, Ferrari ignored it, and it has done that for years, because to them, the car concept doesn't match their brand's value. However, times change. It is obvious to Ferrari that if they don't give their customers one, because the demand for luxurious SUVs has been on the high, their customers would go elsewhere. And by rivals, we are talking about long-term rivals of Ferrari who are also into making luxurious and exotic automobiles. In 2018, Louis Camarelli, the former chief executive officer of Ferrari, revealed the Purosangue name for the Ferrari SUV crossover. However, he stressed the need for the car to be perfect. By that, he meant production of the Ferrari crossover would not be rushed. And true to his words, it wasn't. This is because Ferrari was looking at perfection. The word Purosangue means pureblood or thoroughbred, and the press believes it could be the automaker's way of saying, this might be our first Ferrari car production with 4 doors, but it will still drive like every other Ferrari. Even better. But there's no denying the fact that it also feels like they were reminding the world that the Ferrari Purosangue crossover rides on a true Ferrari platform. This somehow reflects on the fact that their major rivals, Lamborghini Urus, trace their DNA back to the relatively humble Volkswagen Touareg, a sleek way of rekindling the Lamborghini versus Ferrari feud, if you ask. However, there is a slight snag. The name Purosangue already belongs to an anti-doping charity. The engine would likely be a V12 engine, and may have some form of electrification, although there is an expectation of an electrified V8 to hit the auto industry after the Purosangue. As already stated, the Purosangue will launch with an aspirated V12 engine that will give it an amazing performance and configuration different from its rivals. This would give the automaker's brand some significant bragging rights. The addition of hybrid power to the V12 definitely would add a lot of weight to the car and may hinder electrical assist. However, since it's going to be able to deliver a gut-wrenching 800 horsepower, it's worth it. In addition to its 800 horsepower V12 engine, the Purosangue crossover can achieve 0 to 62 miles per hour in almost 3 seconds, and can reach a top speed of 200 miles per hour, or about 320 kilometers per hour. Hopefully, Ferrari is not going to leave the Purosangue as a single model, but with several versions. Each version differs in performance and type of engine. Arriving much later after the Purosangue with the V12 engine is the V8 hybridized Purosangue. It is believed that it would share technology with the SF90 Stradale 4-liter engine, but with a plug-in hybrid unit, making it one of the first plugged-in hybrid electric vehicles by Ferrari. The engine would come with a dual-clutch transmission mounted at the rear. However, the SF90 power units can deliver 986 horsepower, which is present in the V8, will overshadow the V12. This raises the need for detuning. But a better option for the V8 Purosangue is Roma's milder 612 horsepower, delivering 3.8-liter V8 engine. It somehow seems a better base and more applicable for a GT car. There's also no denying the fact that a version of the 296 GTB's 803 horsepower hybrid V6 powertrain engine would likely appear later in the Purosangue model cycle. It's no secret that Ferrari dislikes the SUV word, which is evident in their delay in joining the SUV boom. To differ, they prefer the term the Purosangue a Ferrari utility vehicle. That's to say, an FUV. Looking at it closely, it proves a point. Seeing they joined the party 20 years late, so they need to have at least a good reason for doing that. On the other hand, a lot of people already see Ferrari as an FUV. After the Roma, the Ferrari Purosangue is the next Ferrari car to have a front engine. This was announced in 2018 after the company decided to use the modular engine platform. But the Purosangue features an aluminum architecture that has been worked on to provide space for an additional 2 passengers rather than the Roma's 2, making it 4 passengers. However, it still boasts a sports car layout. There's the expectation for the crossover to have a much larger track and feature more striking bodywork. It's also expected to feature a hood that would drop right down between the 2 very fashionable but skinny LED headlights. The rear has a lift-back door. The 5th door grants access to the trunk. The Purosangue expected naturally aspirated V12 will feature a simple rear-wheel drive transmission and boasts 4-wheel drive steering. This will in effect create a 4-seat Ferrari 812 Superfast, and would create a point of differentiation for Ferrari's first ever SUV, and also deliver a true exotic sports car experience to Ferrari enthusiasts. But a lot of people hope that their SUVs can allow them to sink their foot into the firewall, or feel the tires hook up. Those can also be expected from the Ferrari SUV. The Purosangue V12 front engine layout doesn't have enough room on its front axle to boast of SF90E motors, but subsequent hybrid versions will more likely have theirs at the end. Well, except Ferrari takes up the initiative to take power from the front end of the V12 engine and V8 engine instead of from the front axle, exactly as it did with the non-forgotten GTC Lusso. No one knows yet how tall the Purosangue will be, but we can tell from the spy shots that it's more of a crossover than an SUV, and that it would be like most supercars from the automakers. The Purosangue will have a Ferrari suspension system that allows for the adjustment of height. A lot of SUV lovers would prefer air springs as the most obvious choice. However, there is a huge possibility that Ferrari has something else planned. Call it a surprise or a mystery. This information was made available to their investors when the car company claimed that Purosangue would feature a new innovative suspension. But regarding height, it's expected that the roofline of the Purosangue would likely be shorter than the Urus. With this, we should all look out for the Purosangue having a lower center of gravity, which would give it coupe-like dynamics. According to Ferrari, the interior of the Purosangue would be large enough for 4 adults to comfortably seat in. But from unconfirmed rumors, words have it that the rear doors might be rear hinged like those on the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. The legroom as well as the headroom is expected to be freer than the GTC 4 Lusso, with passengers in the back seat having access to different options of a rear entertainment system. Also, the console and the dashboard will be far less driver-oriented compared to the ones found in the Ferrari SF90 and the 296 GTB sports cars. So while it may feature a similar heads-up display, digital instrument pack, and a new generation multifunctional steering wheel, all of which are comparable to the SF90, it may likely also feature some additional and traditional infotainment system in the console similar to Roma's, and maybe a separate screen above the glove box for passengers in the front seat. At the time of producing this video, the Ferrari Roma was Ferrari's most affordable car, at a price slightly above $220,000. We do not, however, think the Purosangue will beat that record. In any case, it should be higher, but it's a marvel thinking about how much one has to add to get an additional 2 doors in their Ferrari. Purely for reference purposes, it should be remembered that the long-dead GTC 4 Lusso, which would be replaced effectively by the Purosangue, costs $263,000 for the V8 engines, and about $303,000 for V12 engines. We understand how difficult it may seem for you to get your head around the Maranello-bred SUV idea, but get ready for more. The Purosangue crossover SUV is not the last of its kind, but likely the first. According to claims made by Car Magazine, based in the United Kingdom, Ferrari Purosangue will be followed by 2 additional all-electric SUVs, which however are codenamed F244 and F245, and would hit the market in 2024 and 2026. The magazine also claims the cars may have up to 4 electric motors with a base power output of 610 horsepower and a scalable battery pack with a starting capacity of 80 kilowatts per hour. Puny, right? Some top rivals of the Ferrari Purosangue include Aston Martin DBX, Bentley Bentayga, Lamborghini Urus, Mercedes Maybach GLS 600, Porsche Taycan Turbo S-Cross Turismo, and the notable Rolls-Royce Cullinan. What do you think of the 2023 Ferrari Purosangue? Do well to let us know in the comments section below. If you liked our video, then go ahead and click on the thumbs up, subscribe, and the bell icon to get notified of our new and upcoming videos. You can also check out our other videos.